Hello folks, and welcome to this week's Hi-Fi News Etc. Hope you're all well. And what have I got for you this time around? 5 news stories, that's what I've got. But to begin with, trivia. Now for this week's music trivia question, I'm going to change the theme. The theme for this time, and probably next week as well, will be French, as in the language, as opposed to the country. Well, a bit of that too, hey. But mainly the language. So, French. This particular question is, which artist who represented Switzerland in the Eurovision Song Contest of 1988 and sang God Bless America at the America, a Tribute to Heroes telethon in 2001, married her manager in 1994 in a ceremony that was screened live on the national TV service of another third country? Bit of a complex question. Let's do this one more time, shall we? Which artist who, firstly, represented Switzerland in the Eurovision Song Contest of 1988, and secondly, sang God Bless America at a telethon in 2001 called America, a Tribute to Heroes, married her manager in 1994 in a ceremony that was screened live on the national TV service of an additional third country? What was the name of that artist? A bit of a sprawling question, I think, this time around. None of that Googling nonsense, please. It'll just spoil it. It'll spoil the fun, folks. And I will give you the answer at the end of the video. Until then, folks, Hi-Fi News. And we will start off with an accessory from Dekoni called the MCS, or Modular Cable System. This is a 2-part modular system. The top part connects to a pair of headphones using your chosen termination with dual 2-pin, like you might find on Sennheiser headphones, like the HD600s, for example, or dual 3.5mm, or dual 4-pin mini XLRs, whatever might plug in to your headphones. This is like a yoke shape piece of cable ending in a termination socket, and they kind of hang there and don't do much. So the top bit of this cable remains connected to your headphones. It's the bottom bit that changes, because the bottom part of the cable changes depending on what you're going to plug it into. This bottom bit can span 52 inches to 64 inches. And at the moment ends in either a 4.4mm Pentacon or a 6.3mm single-ended mode. Is to manage multiple headphone cables and multiple termination types. So you might own a pair of headphones that have a single-ended termination and another that has a balanced termination. Instead of multiple cables hanging about the place, this system combines the lot. So you move between different headphones without having to switch cables at the headphone end or using cumbersome adapters. Only one cable is needed per source, thanks to the modular locking connector. These things are available to pre-order, and they have a range of prices, all dollars for now, $119.98 to $164.98. Next up, and something a little bit more straightforward, a pair of boxes from the German outfit T+A. They're known as multi-source players, either the MP2000 RG3 or the MP2500 RG3. So these boxes can handle CD and a whole host of digital sources, but you'll still need to plug them into an amplifier and a regular hi-fi chain. The DAC-based sources also include the ASAG3 streaming architecture, and they support the usual things: Tidal Connect, Spotify Connect, Apple AirPlay 2, the usual stuff. They have single-ended and balanced outputs, plus coax, as you might expect, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Also expect to see FM and DAB radio. For CD play, according to T+A, that includes enhanced signal processing, while the 2500 also supports SA CD. Both units can handle PCM files up to 24-bit 384 and DSD256. Available in anodized silver or anodized black. There's a whole host of prices, so I'll stick the whole lot on the screen and you can have a little peruse. Next, we have a pair of French speakers for you from Rotel called the Diva Utopia. Covered by what looks like cheap underlay you might find under a budget carpet, the French company has announced its first venture into wireless. Sporting a beryllium tweeter spanning 27mm and a mid-range unit spanning 165, these 121cm tall three-way speakers use Name electronics inside, push out 400 watts of power, and use the ultra-wideband wireless technology. Sat atop its own plinth, you'll find bass speaker drivers located on the sides of the cabinet. You'll also get a host of connectivity, including Ethernet, HDMI, EARC, Toslink optical, RCA, and USB. There's also an RJ45 socket to wire the pair together for 24-bit 192K resolution, or in wireless mode, 24-bit 96K, while the free Vocal and Name app for iOS and Android offers access to Qobuz, Tidal, and Spotify. As you might expect, these are pricey at £29,000 per pair, including underlay. Next, we have a CD player, a high-end CD player from Rotel called the Michi or Michi. I think I'm going to call it the Michi, just to be romantic about the whole thing. Michi Q5. I think it has a Asian thing going on, doesn't it? Michi Q5. Oddly enough, the company calls this box a transport DAC. Isn't that just a CD player? At its heart, though, is an 8-channel ESS ES9028 Pro DAC, configured so that its channels are split into left and right signal paths. This balanced circuitry is joined by dual toroidal transformers. On top, suitably enough, is an aluminium top-loading CD transport on a custom floating spring assembly. There are RCA and balanced XLR outputs alongside coax and optical outputs too, so you can use the Q5 as a CD transport if you wish. The optical and coax inputs handle 24-bit 192 PCM, while the Type B USB port can handle up to 32-bit 384 PCM. You also get DSD and MQA support as well. Oh, and on the front is a full-colour TFT display, so you can show off album art and information. Prices? Well, I have three. I have a pound price of $5,499, or a dollar price of $6,999, or a euro price of $5,999. This one will be out sometime in November 2024. And finally, Pro-Ject have a new turntable out. You may have heard of the Pro-Ject T1 turntable. Well, now welcome the twin-speed T1 Evo range. So what you get with that? Well, you get an Audiophile OM10 moving magnet cartridge. You get a larger debut-sized subplatter, as well as an electronic speed change. There's a high mass tempered glass record platter that's apparently anti-resonant. The arm is familiar. It's the 8.6-inch one-piece aluminium arm tube. And there are different variations of the T1 Evo. There's the T1 Evo itself, which is a conventional turntable. The T1 Evo phono turntable has a built-in moving magnet phono amplifier, and that's defeasible if you need to do that. While the T1 Evo BT has, as you might expect, Bluetooth built in. Other fiddly bits include a felt platter mat. You get a built-in dust cover, well, in the box, you get a dust cover and supplied phono cables. The turntable weighs 3.8 kilograms. I only have dollar prices for you right now. The T1 Evo, the basic turntable, $449, $499 for the Evo Phono, and $599 for the Evo BT. So that's your lot. In news terms, at least. Let's return to our rather complex music trivia question, and let's untangle that one, shall we? Let's have an answer. And the question once more is, which artist represented Switzerland in the Eurovision Song Contest in 1988, also sang God Bless America on a telethon in 2001 to support America, a Tribute to Heroes, also married her manager in 1994 in a ceremony that was screened live on national TV service of another country. Who was the artist? And the answer is Celine Dion. The French-Canadian singer, that's where the French bit comes in, the French-Canadian singer was only 12 when she met manager René Angelil. He was already 38 at that time. He believed in her talent and approved of her relentless ambition. When she decided she wanted to make it beyond Francophone Canada, he sent her to school to improve her English and to the dentist to fix her teeth. She won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1988 while representing Switzerland, and then she married her manager Angelil in 1994 in Montreal. It was an event of such national importance that the ceremony was broadcast live on Canadian national TV. So now you know. Anyway, thanks again for watching to the end of this particular video. I'll be back next week with another one of these, and I hope you can join me. Hope to have your company. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.